Hi Tatiana, so what questions do you have today? Yes, I was thinking about our conversation and I'm wondering, how do I know which consultation to book? Well, it's pretty easy, so it depends what you need to know, how I can help you. For example, if you want to know some kind of general things about your chart, patterns, maybe something which holds you back or your talents, and possible sources of income or where you can meet a partner and things like that. So this would be a natal consultation. Now, on top of that, of course, you can take something with what I call astrological weather for this year, for example, or for the upcoming 3 years. Different astrologers offer different consultations. Some of them combine a few things in one consultation. It also differs how people work with clients, how they build their practice. For example, I spend a lot of time for preparing for the consultation usually, and so I prefer to separate the questions into the natal or locational astrology questions, and also related to timing. For example, astrological weather, what is happening right now in this year, what's important this year or the next year, whatever you prefer. And we can take both the solar year, starting from your birthday, or the calendar year, it depends on the person. Another type of consultation could be a Hori consultation and some specific question, which is kind of like a burning question, or maybe a choice between some options. Usually it's more of an yes and no answer. Another field of astrology is also electional astrology. It's when you elect a certain day and time for a specific event. An astrologer helps to find favorable dates for something like a wedding, moving to another country, or applying for immigration, maybe opening a business or starting a project, starting a vlog or something like that. Or I wish I consulted an astrologer before I started the vlog. It's developing so slow. I definitely recommend elections, and actually I collaborate with a colleague who helps me elect some things. Myself, I'm learning it, but I find it one of the most difficult branches of astrology, in my opinion. If someone elects, then it means that everything will go well. In truth, an electional astrologer chooses the best of the worst times, so to speak. I know it sounds a bit weird, but in reality, it's very rare when we have this perfect chart, perfect moment of something to happen. And also in life, there are situations when things get delayed for one reason or another, and then even the ascendant and the moon position can change, sun position can change in the house. So an electional astrologer can do a lot of work to create the best opportunities through those charts. But life kicks in, and dates might not work. For a surgery, for example, you can elect some better dates, but the doctor would offer you only specific dates, for example, all of them on moon void, of course, or in some really hard positions for surgery. So we do what we can as astrologers. Indeed, it's so complex. I had a surgery and there were not many options. Yes, but still I recommend to consult an astrologer to maybe get some dates if that's something which is really important to you. Sometimes if you talk to the doctor and explain the reasoning behind your preference and dates, they might, understand, but not everyone. Yes, and they can't do surgeries at night, right? Of course, surgeries happen within specific working hours. Yeah, that's a tough story sometimes. Indeed, it's so complex. All right, and if it's like a business or relationship, something like that, which consultation is best? In a way, it all starts with natal astrology. But say if you have a business, then you can consult a business astrologer, someone who specializes in that, and they will create also a chart for a business. Or you can have an electional consultation to elect the best date for registering your business. And you will also explain what type of business, why you want to create it, and so on, so that the astrologer understands the psychological part of that too. It's so interesting. I love it. Maybe I should be a business astrologer. Business astrologers is very responsible as any astrology session, and you can charge more money for financial astrology for sure, if that's what you were thinking about. Yes, I thought about that too, but it's just cool that you can, see how it will develop It can save some money probably to someone. Absolutely, that's a great point, because sometimes people create a business in a certain moment and, either they want to prove something to someone, or they just were inspired by some other business and they think that's the best thing. But in reality, if you look into their natal chart, and in business consultations, of course, we look at the natal chart, then you can see that in reality, they would be able to earn money with something else, and sometimes even very different. It could be a hobby or something which they have never done before. They just haven't considered it. Absolutely, I see it quite often, like even in counseling, when people come and they do something, but in reality, they always wanted to do something else. Yes, there are different restrictions from the family or society, or some businesses, they require a budget, sometimes a big budget to start something. And I would even recommend to take a consultation with a professional on whether for you specifically it's okay to take a big loan, because not everyone is able to save money and pay back the loan. You can go deeper and deeper into credit and not even notice how you're spending money here and there. And then at some point you just have to pay it back, or you have to go for bankruptcy or something else. It's really crucial in a way to have an astrologer take a look at what could happen if you do that. That is so true. And I remember you told me at the consultation that I just have a tendency to spend on craft supplies, on some kind of Venus related things, and spending fast. Yes, that could be the case. And also, we have different personalities inside us, different sides of psyche, and some of them are not even well known. And psychotherapy is a great method, counseling, life coaching, to look deeper into that. But in astrology, you also can see where potentially people can be, as I call it, flushing out the money, because let's say in your example, you think that it's an investment, but it is also whimsical, because you're taking risks and you believe, or you choose to believe, that that can bring you something good. Wow, this is so profound. I haven't thought about that. You're not the only one. Many people go into debt, but in reality, if they would consult an astrologer to look at their natal chart from the financial perspective, then they would know what activities could bring them more money and where they should be careful. For example, as we started the conversation, with using credit cards for something. I absolutely agree, because that's just crucial. Also, astrology can be helpful to parents to understand in what way they could provide for their children some kind of financial education, sometimes in a playful way, sometimes in a serious conversation, but in certain cases it's required, because it might help the child to avoid some mistakes in the future. I think that there should be even courses for kids for astrology. Probably there are astrologers who offer that. It's a fun idea. I would be open to that. If someone wants to collaborate, we can talk about that. I think I might have an idea. Follow for more, subscribe, comment, and I'll talk to you later in another video.